trade talks. The Lakers are losing hope that the Pelicans will actually make a deal by today's deadline, mainly because they have yet to make a counter to any of the Lakers' offers. Nick, how do you expect the AD trade talks to play out?
Ever since this first came up, I've said all along it's a less than 50% chance Anthony Davis gets traded. As we're now hours from the trade deadline, less than 8 hours from the trade deadline, I say it's a less than 10% chance. It certainly appears the Pelicans, who never wanted Anthony Davis to ask for a trade, appears they never wanted to trade Anthony Davis, and what they were doing was, at best, just acquiring information so they know what the Lakers' offer is this summer when they do intend, I believe, to trade Anthony Davis, because they're not going to have much of a choice. And at worst, a little more nefarious, and we can get into that at some point. But I don't think he's getting moved. The Lakers have offered, Chris, everything they can offer. If you're not going to take all the young guys and salary cap relief and multiple first-round picks, I mean, they're not going to include the Kareem statue. Like, there's nothing left to offer, and they haven't even responded to that offer. That tells me the Pelicans are not interested in making a deal.
Yeah, I don't think the Pelicans are interested in making a deal. Before the season started, they say they're not even taking phone calls with AD. Now, AD and Clutch Sports, they did force the hand of the Pelicans, and I don't know at what point they came to the realization, but Clutch Sports and AD didn't do the Lakers a problem by only giving them this small window to be able to get the type of deal done, knowing that these other clubs, being Boston, could participate this summer. So it's a tough situation. If I was the Pelicans, I wouldn't be in a rush to trade him. But you know you got to move him this summer if you think that you can get better, because in this, you have to do something to put the Pelicans in a better situation that players that we're not seeing this in 7 or 8 years. If they were able to win the draft lottery, if they had Zion, could they get a guy to be able to stay there to be their franchise player? I didn't think they ever were trying to trade him, and based on what the Lakers offered, because you know that Boston didn't offer Tatum. So the Lakers really only had the one legitimate offer. I do know that the Knicks, they did offer Kristaps to him, and they turned that down, didn't have an interest in him. But the Lakers, how much real time did they have to try to work out this deal? And you can't make a deal if you don't have, you need two parties.
And when Chris says Boston didn't offer Tatum, obviously Boston can't make a trade right now. But Boston, we know, didn't even say, we guarantee we will offer Tatum in the summer.
Dive in a little bit more, Nick, for us on why the Pelicans would even throw this out there if they were never going to make a deal with Anthony Davis to begin with. So
Brian Windhorst, who's a really plugged-in NBA insider, who I actually talked to a couple nights ago about this situation, he believes, and this is, I mean, this would be borderline unprecedented. He believes the Pelicans responded to what they thought was Lakers tampering, because the Lakers been dinged for tampering twice now, and they thought this was essentially an Anthony Davis, Rich Paul, Clutch Sports, and Los Angeles Laker coup against their organization by almost reverse tampering the Lakers, meaning letting the talks go on, encouraging the leaks, letting names, okay, so it's Ingram and Kuzma and Zoe who are on the block. Oh, it's and Hart and Zubats and all these guys. Letting all of that come in over the last 10 days, pollute the Lakers locker room just to have results like we saw against Indiana. Just to have total, you know what? You're going to create uncertainty within our franchise.
We're going to do the same thing.
We're going to do it to you, and we're going to acquire information along the way. We're going to make it seem as if we are engaged in these talks to find out what your actual best offer is. So you have to bring us that actual best offer this summer, even if Tatum isn't available, even if Zion isn't available, even if it looks like this summer you do have some leverage. We will know what you were willing to offer a few months ago, and if it causes some mayhem within your organization, a small market team fighting back against a big market, a team fighting back against player power, all the better.
And CC, it seemed to have caused chaos within the Lakers locker room, the way they've been playing. I mean, if you're a player on the team and your name is constantly being dangled out there to be traded, basically everyone but LeBron, you would have to imagine it would disrupt team chemistry, disrupt the flow, disrupt the success of how a team is gonna be.
I mean, I'd like to Bill say that, but they weren't playing good before the trade rumors started. So they haven't been playing. They didn't play good without LeBron.
Without LeBron, sure, absolutely.
Okay, so where's this great stretch where these guys were playing great? No. Ever since, that's the biggest problem here for the Lakers, was LeBron getting hurt. Those 18 games that he missed, 19 games that he missed, because we liked the Lakers the way they were progressing. The younger players, even with the injuries. Like, we could recover if Rondo was hurt, as long as LeBron was there. But because of their position, now being out of the playoffs, there's more pressure because LeBron got hurt. If they hadn't, we wouldn't. We thought that this might take till the summer. We just wanted the Lakers to get in the playoffs, be a top 4 seed, potentially win a series. Those were the questions we were asking ourselves a couple months ago.
Well, that's it.
So what changed?
A couple weeks ago. That's the most interesting part of this is we spend a lot of time speculating about the Lakers, about LeBron. Up until 10 days ago, 11 days ago, last week Monday, nobody was saying if the Lakers don't trade for Anthony Davis this year, it's a failure. We knew it was a possibility, but we were talking about, could they get Kawhi this summer? Would they trade for Anthony Davis this summer? The Kyrie stuff came up. Our perspective on it has changed because ever since Rich Paul and Anthony Davis made their public trade request, it's almost made it seem urgent. And then the Lakers playing poorly and falling in the standings has made it feel more urgent. That game against the Pacers has made it feel like it's almost a necessity. But 2 weeks ago, nobody was saying if the Lakers don't trade for Anthony Davis, they're screwed, even though right now that's what it feels like because of the disruption within the team.
And what does that screwed, if you will, look like? Not making the playoffs? What is a ruined season for the Lakers look like if they don't get this?
Let me tell you something. Every day LeBron James plays on the basketball court, he's not playing for a championship. The Lakers and what they're trying to do, that's not the plan. And LeBron is not getting, I don't care what no one says, LeBron's mama, Nick Wright, LeBron James, it's going to come to an end someday. All right? And playing with a non-competitive team right now, because that's who they are. There's no chance they can win a championship. There's at least 3 teams in the West that would potentially sweep them. So that's the biggest problem. LeBron is aging. And they don't have, forget about 2 superstars, they don't have that other 1 superstar. And because LeBron got hurt, it accelerated. Clutch Sports making that announcement, it accelerated everything. But if Magic and Pelinka, if they're not careful, they were on the right path until the injury.
So your point about not competing for a championship, I think they would have felt okay about knowing, listen, we're not equipped to beat the Warriors this year, had the team been taken where it was on Christmas morning and continued on that, everything up until the injury. They had seemed to create some continuity. The young players were learning to play with LeBron. LeBron was deferring the first 3 quarters, taking over in the 4th. And now everything feels different. Now you wonder, are the Lakers going to make almost a panic move at the deadline because they think they have to shake some things up that could restrict their ability this summer to either sign a max guy or trade for Anthony Davis? I wonder if the Pelicans are sitting there saying, oh, well, whatever you offered us today is going to be there July 1st. What if one of those pieces they offered you today, they trade later today because they think they need to change something?
Or the Pelicans are taking a tremendous risk. What if one of those players get hurt? What if one of the players in Boston get hurt?
Sure.
What if Tatum gets nicked?
Right.
What if one of the players with the Lakers get nicked? So they are taking a roll of the dice. I think the Pelicans, they should have waited, because then they can get all teams involved. They knew they were limited. They were faced with a time crunch, and all the teams can't participate in the Anthony Davis. If I was them, with Boston out there, I wouldn't be in a rush to make a trade with the Lakers.
I agree I wouldn't have been in a rush, but even if it was all subterfuge, once I saw...
What does that mean?
If it was all tricks, if it was all misinformation, that they were never actually going to trade him, that once I saw how desperate the Lakers appeared to be, that I kept asking for more, and they were like, okay, fine. All right, it's 2 first-round picks and our 3 young players. All 5 young players, cap relief, and 3 first-round picks. The Lakers say, fine to that. Then you do have to have a conversation. Wait, hold on. Is this going to be the best offer we can get that doesn't involve Jason Tatum? And then the real discussion of what are the odds Jason Tatum is ever actually offered? Like, those are discussions that I think the Pelicans would be having.
Well, if Jason Tatum's never offered, you really only got 1 suitor to make a trade. That's with the Lakers.
Right. Assuming the Knicks don't win the lottery, which is when the power could shift back to the Lakers, which is the only gamble the Pelicans are taking in this. Otherwise, they're saying we'll just wait till the summer.
Okay, so here's a question. Here's something we haven't talked about. The trade deadline is 3 p.m. Eastern today. Do you think there's a dark horse out there, another team that could sweep in for Anthony Davis at this point?
I think there are a couple teams that are going to call him. I'm sure the Rockets are going to call him and offer him the same thing they offered for Jimmy Butler. Eric Gordon, P.J. Tucker, and all the first-round picks. I don't think that gets it done. The Raptors I've been talking about throughout. I think the Raptors offering Siakam, OG Anunoby, Jonas Valanciunas, and some picks, knowing, hey, if we don't win the title this year and Kawhi leaves, we can trade Anthony Davis ourselves, maybe for Jason
But would the
Tatum.
Pelicans make that deal?
That one, I don't think so. The one that I think is the best offer they could get, that if he's traded today and it's not to the Lakers, watch out for the Nuggets. Jamal Murray, I believe, is the exact same caliber player Jason Tatum. Michael Porter Jr. was a lottery pick out of Missouri who hasn't played because of a back injury, was a projected top 5 pick before the back injury, and they have the salary space to make it work if they trade Miles Plumlee. And that team is right now second in the West. That team thinks maybe we can win a championship. If he's traded and it's not to the Lakers, watch the Denver Nuggets saying, you know what, we'll go for it this year, and then we'll move him ourselves this summer and recoup a lot of our investment.
Wouldn't that be something if he ended up not going to the
Nobody
Lakers
saw
after
Kawhi
all
going to the
this?
Raptors.
You're right. No,
People
you
didn't
make
see
a good
Paul
point.
George going to OKC.
All right, let's take a break. Coming up, Kevin Durant finally met with the media last night and